Hi, my name is Jesse. I'm a 33-year-old introverted woman from Seattle. I'm not lacking any self-esteem, but I've had a troubled life that allowed me to have a lot of failed relationships. I'm a fairly decent-looking girl, 5'2", 145 pounds, short strawberry blonde hair, gray eyes. I'm not the best, but I'm no model. But for some reason, I seem to attract the bad boy types. Anyways, I'm here to tell you about the time where I stupidly almost lost my life on the dark web. A little bit of backstory. When I was 5, my father walked out on us, leaving my mom to solely care for me. She met a man and they later down the line got married. He later turned into an abusive son of a bitch to me and my mom until I turned 13. We finally got away from that, but my mom took a down spiral into depression. My mom died when I turned 16 and things weren't so good for me from that point on. I've had trust issues, abandonment issues, a bit of depression and anxiety, etc., which led up to this point of the story. I overheard a coworker of mine talking about the dark web and how you can find anything on it. I figured maybe I could find love and someone willing to commit. I never imagined I'd find myself on the dark web searching for a husband of all things. But loneliness has a funny way of pushing you towards desperate methods. My nights were spent scrolling through forums, sifting through profiles of strangers, hoping to find someone who could fill the void in my heart. Then I stumbled upon him, Jacob. His profile seemed genuine enough. His messages were filled with charm and warmth. I'd been in relationships that failed miserably and never felt the way that he made me feel. We talked for weeks, exchanging stories and dreams until I felt like I knew him better than anyone I'd ever met in person. We agreed to meet at a secluded spot far from prying eyes. Looking back, I didn't know why I let him convince me to do anything remotely as insane as this. I know, this was very silly of me, but I had to take the risk in order to at least try to be happy, I thought. I was nervous, but excitement overshadowed my doubts. As I waited in a dimly lit alley, I saw him approaching, his smile sending shivers down my spine. The man in the profile, Jacob, was walking towards me, emerging from the other side of the alley. He was tall, maybe around 6'3" and very stocky, hazel green eyes with a shaved head and a thick beard. Yep, that was my man approaching me, and I was beyond excited. I was so happy to see him, but as he drew closer, something shifted in his eyes, a darkness that I haven't even noticed before. Before I could react, he lunged at me, his intentions clear as day. Panic surged through me as I fought back, the adrenaline coursing through my veins. He was tugging at me to this abandoned building, but I screamed and thrashed to get away from him. I realized that no one could hear me. I shouted as loud as I could, but no one came to the rescue. I thought in that moment, am I going to end up like one of those girls on the news whose fate ended in a tragedy? In that moment, survival instincts took over. I broke free from his grasp and ran, heart pounding in my chest, every instant screaming at me to get as far away from him as possible. He gave chase and the adrenaline gave me the boost that I needed to get away. As I ran out into the street, a car was approaching and I flagged it down. I thank God for the man for stopping to help me. He stopped and asked if I were okay and seen Jacob standing watching us from the shadows. He gave me a lift to the local police station where I filed a police report. I told him everything and even showed him our conversations. There were no records of a Jacob Rowley in the system, which only means he wasn't who he said he was. The good thing about the situation is that his photo was real, so the police used it to bring him to justice. I never looked back when I went home. I got in my apartment and tears streaming down my face. A mixture of fear and relief washing over me. I had escaped, but the realization of how close I had come to my death left me shaken to my core. As I sat in the safety of my home, the glow of the computer screen casting eerie shadows around me, I swore to myself that I would never trust the dark web again. The loneliness might still linger, but I'd rather face it alone than to risk falling into the clutches of someone like Jacob ever again. What's up, guys? I'm gonna tell you a story that is truly unbelievable. I almost got kidnapped, robbed, and killed about 7 years ago from dabbling with the dark web. Okay, first off, my name is Greg, but in my close circle, everyone calls me G. I'm a 34-year-old man from Arizona, and let's just say I was into the import-export services back in the day. If you catch my drift, I was always into the fast money and lifestyle with all the spoils that it provided. I wanted me and my right-hand man, which was my best friend, to expand and get a bigger payout. So I was suggested by him to go onto the dark web and see how far it would take us. I cautiously navigated the dark web, seeking refuge in the anonymity it provided. I noticed that you can just get about anything that you want on it. It was either guns, drugs, fake IDs, social security numbers, credit cards, human trafficking, and even CP, which I am not into. I really never understood why people were into that sick shit. But anyways, I went on various onion links and wikis to where I found a form similar to the Silk Road. I ended up meeting what I thought at the time was a cool connect named Red. He told me he had whatever I needed, even guns for the low too. I was skeptical at first, but I said screw it and gave it a try. I bought some pills from him, which were blues and pinks. The pills were literally sent to my spot the next day. Not only did I get the pills, but the shit was legit. We were about to be in business. A couple of days later, I had to get another set, so I ordered, and true enough, the same thing happened again. Messages exchanged, deals made, and locations agreed upon. I thought I knew the ropes. I thought I can handle it. Me and Red seemed to form a great partnership, but I seem to have gotten it all mistaken. The saying is really definitely true. There's no honor amongst thieves. Anyway, a month goes by, and I needed to get more pills, but this time he wanted me to meet him at another location in a secluded area of town closest to a rest stop. Red flag. We would usually meet in plain sight, but now all of a sudden he wanted to meet in a secluded area? Yeah, right. I wasn't thinking at that moment in time. Being blinded by the love of money, I guess I lost awareness of my safety. Lucky for us, we thought ahead just in case. I met him at the deserted rest stop. Red came from his vehicle walking towards me. As I handed over the cash, a chill crept down my spine. His eyes gleamed with a predatory hunger, a hunger that I had failed to notice before. It's like our bodies sense impending doom and danger, so I knew that the situation wasn't going to end well. Suddenly his demeanor changed and he pulled out a pistol. My heart hammered in my chest as I realized my mistake. This wasn't a simple transaction as before. It was a trap. Before I can even react, two of his goons emerged from the darkness surrounding me. Panic surged straight through me as I realized my predicament. I had trusted way too easy and I let my guard down in pursuit of riches. Desperation ate away at me as I struggled with the thought of being in complete submission to Red. Just as hope began to fade, another familiar car pulled up. It was Black and a couple of the boys pulling up ready for retaliation. If it wasn't for the trust for Black and our simple plan, my fate would have been drastic. As I got home, shaken but alive, the gravity of my stupidity hit me. I dabbled with danger and I barely escaped it. From this day forward, I went straight and stayed away from the fast life. Me and Black are still friends to this day, but from a distance. This experience surely opened my eyes to want to live life on the other side, the good side. The dark web is a place that we all should respect by not paying any mind to it. Don't take any chances out of curiosity or word of mouth. Just give this place a wide berth or you'll truly regret it in the end. Please guys, make sure you heed to all of the warnings about the dark web.
Good evening everyone. If you happen to like our content, then please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing is free. If you ever feel the need to change it, you can always do so. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you never miss any of our content. Now back to the video.
Hello everyone, my name is Anita. I'm 24 years old living in Germany. I was once in Colorado until I was 13. Me, my mom, and my dad are originally from Germany, and we moved to Colorado when I was 6 years old. I'm a graduating student in the Institute of Culinary Art in Germany. My aunt has been helping me ever since my parents died in a severe car accident when I was 13 years old. This was a rough time in my life, and that's when I moved back to Germany, living with my aunt and cousin on the countryside. Now, cooking is my thing. It melts my heart when people love the food that I make, and that motivates me to study to be a chef. Last year was kind of rough. We got a bunch of projects to make and I was truly giving my best to cope with them all.
At the end of the semester, we had a special exam which was to make a fantastic dish for our grade. Unfortunately, I failed and I was so frustrated seeing I'm a person that's all about perfection. That Wednesday, me and my cousin had a conversation over dinner, just the two of us. We talked about a lot of things until she said something about the dark web. And I said, wait a minute, what did you say, the dark web? Isn't that the place where I heard there's a lot of crazy things that happen to people? She said, yeah, it is. Friends of mine were gossiping about it the other day, and they said you can find just about anything there. It's like a hidden realm where you can find just about anything for the right price. Wow, that's pretty intriguing, I said. Then after we had the crazy conversation and good dinner, I went to bed, with me looking straight up at the ceiling and thinking about everything until I fell asleep. It's been quite a few days thinking about the dish that I was going to make, and that's when I remembered the conversation me and my cousin had. The dark web. Curiosity picked me, so I took her advice, took the precautions, and went on. It's Sunday and it's already past noon. I'm at my laptop with a quiver of excitement. I do the research and I'm looking for a cooking site while my heart is pounding with anticipation. Suddenly, I found a site that caught my attention. My hands trembling as I clicked, but curiosity conquered fear, and I got into the site. Once I got onto the page, it was pretty basic. There were many chefs, but there was a highly renowned chef that was the top-notch guy. Chef Newman. His credentials were far beyond what I've expected, even surpassing my current teacher at my school. He posted his signature dishes which looked all delightful and captioned with possessed with unique flavors. I looked at every dish which had reviews from thousands of people saying that every dish has surprisingly a great taste and the meat is one of a kind. I read the top 3 comments. Person 1. This chicken biryani tastes so good. Chef Newman is simply the best. Person 2. This beef bourguignon tastes amazing. Thank you for the recipes. Person 3. This braised pork belly with pickled radish was fantastic. The exotic meat was far beyond my human comprehension. Thank you so much, Chef Newman. Exotic meat? Huh. After seeing that, I directly messaged Chef Newman about the recipes. Surprisingly, he responded to me right away. We had a brief conversation. I told him about the school and stuff like that. I told him that I eagerly wanted to win this competition that was coming up this Monday. I asked him about an exotic recipe that I can use. He replied back and gave me the recipe for tandoori grilled pork with the last important ingredient being exotic meat. I said, hold on, what is exotic meat? How and where do I get it? He told me what the exotic meat was and how to get it. I was shocked. WTF? What? I became silent for 30 seconds, but I continued the conversation. I don't know if I can pull that off. I don't even have the resources to do so. Chef Newman was so great at his profession that he formulated an inexpensive way to get it. I thanked the chef profusely. I kept looking over the list to see exactly what I needed in order to make this dish. My alarm goes off. Oh shit. I just remembered I have a date tonight coming over for dinner at 8 p.m. I had to rush to get everything perfectly prepared. The doorbell rings. It's 10 p.m. I had to postpone this date this late in preparation for our time together. My aunt was visiting family in Munich, and my cousin was with her boyfriend for the night, so we were getting the alone time that we both talked about. We both sat down and everything was arranged in an adequate way. I proposed a toast, and we both drank our champagne. I smiled at this handsome man with such awe and amazement. We both chuckled from staring at each other like two teenagers experiencing love at first sight. I lost the competition last year, and now I must do whatever it takes to win and be successful. The popular critics in Germany is coming to our school Monday, and I now think that I'm better prepared. It's Monday, 9 a.m., and I'm standing before the judges and my teacher. I'm nervous as all hell, but if I want to win this, I have to do everything the chef told me to do. The teacher then shouts and say, "You may begin." The clock starts, and we rush to make our dishes. The clock is set for 2 hours. I'm preparing everything as the chef told me to do. 150 grams of plain yogurt, 4 cinnamons of fresh ginger peeled, 2 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 green chili, 1 star anise, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of garam masala, 1 tablespoon of beetroot powder, and a half a tablespoon of ground cinnamon salt.
I must braise the exotic meat for the enhanced smoked flavor. I didn't want to taste it, but I had to make sure that it would come out perfect. I think I got it. It's all coming out well, and the taste is beyond anything that I could imagine. The clock stops and I was just barely finished with the sides, but I made it just in the nick of time. The judges and my teacher have done their taste testing. They've all come to their respective decisions. I'm dreading inside, hoping for the best. They chose one of my classmates as a second runner-up. I was starting to feel discouraged, but then that's until I heard my name. I won. I couldn't believe it. I finally won. The judges and my teachers all gave their assessments on my dish and was delighted by it. The whole class and everyone that was there at the competition absolutely loved what I made. Luckily for everyone else, I cooked an abundance of the dish. I am finally happy. I'm going to be a great chef and I'm going to be on the Cooking Network series. I looked over at everyone as they adored my dish as I did. Thank you, Chef Newman. As I watched everyone in absolute joy, I hope that they all finished the leftovers, so that way there's no evidence left behind.
Good evening, everyone. This is Yuri K, and this is the end of the video. Please leave a comment and let us know your opinions on the matter. If you happen to like this content, please check out our other videos. Make sure you like and share amongst your friends and family to help our community grow. You happen to be new to this channel? Please make sure you subscribe. It's free and you can always change it in the future. You have some terrifying story suggestions? If so, make sure that you send it to my email, fearofthedarkstories@gmail.com. and I'll feature it in a future segment. But you guys stay safe out there, and remember to always be afraid of the dark.